Hello, 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 hello. Welcome
We
to
live?
the Consistently Rolling Show. I am your girl, Consistent.
What's up? I am in Lil. Did I spell that right?
Yeah,
Enlil? Yeah, yeah.
you did.
I'll check on it later. What's going on, folks? What we doing
Hey,
today?
today is Hump Day. I know it's a bit of a surprise, but it's Hump Day. You guys, I want to first off by saying I apologize for the last live feed that we had. I tried to hold it down by myself. I was quite nervous, you know what I'm saying? But there will be times that we will be doing things separately. So in the future, we just got to get over our nerves. But
Yeah,
I do
you
hope
like me
you guys learned
skydiving.
a
Yeah.
little bit.
Mhm.
So today is Hump Day, so it's open for conversation, open for communication. You guys can come and join us in the chat.
Right.
Don't forget to like when you come in here, comment, subscribe, share with everyone. So, and Lil, what we talk about today?
Oh, we're going to talk about a little bit of everything. Time, space, energy, frequency, vibration, and humans. Freaking humans. You know what?
Well, let's start off with the humans. First of all,
Let's go with the humans.
we're going to send our
Mhm.
condolences to all of the families that lost their loved ones in that horrendous shooting. Um,
Yeah.
that was unnecessary.
Both of
That's
them.
how I
Two of
feel.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
how I feel.
You know, and, you know, we all know who they are. The ones who are capable, very well capable of doing it. We're not doing nothing about it. I mean, here's something for you. What budget do we have? What budget does the government has to prevent this from happening?
A big
What
one.
budget?
But you gotta also think about it too. Listen, check this out. I want to give a timeline here just a little bit.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Go from the banning of abortions
Mm-hmm.
to we don't have formula to feed the kids
Right,
to now we just killing them.
right, right. Oh, but Bill Gates has got that formula covered. Just gonna throw that out there.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. But
I'm just saying though, like we don't have no kind of protection. Like what is it about? What is it for?
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
they listen to each and everything that we do. They watch everything that we watch. I mean, we
Mhm.
constantly monitor, so it could have been prevented.
Yes, yes. No, my old saying is everything starts at home. Everything. It all starts at home. You know. Um, and no, I guess I can't really say that.
I was about to say that's not true because me and you
Yeah,
have had a conversation.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, children can't always be a reflection of their parents. They got their own.
Yes. So you're right. You're right. I can't say that either. Also from personal experience as well with children. So nice things I had so many. So many kids. But anyway, yeah, yeah. But the family,
Yeah,
my
but we
condolences
just
to
want to
the
send
family.
our bye. We are sending energy of comfort because I mean we
Yes,
can't bring them back. So comfort
yes,
and finding some
yes,
type of peace and serene for those families.
yes.
And that justice. Well, they said that the boy got killed, but I mean justice in their
Which one?
eyes.
The high school shooting, the 18-year-old. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But the other one, the Topps market. They said he put the gun to his head, but they talked him out of it. He put his gun, but he actually put the gun to his head, to his chin. When the cops approached him, he was in the corner
What's
in the
wrong with
building.
blowing himself up? I mean, what's wrong?
Yeah,
I wouldn't stop.
yeah. But me personally, it's. I feel bad because all the young innocent people that went along, like everybody else, and it's just senseless, and we need answers, and we don't have them. We don't have the answer. The actual shooters have the answers, and particularly
And
why.
the thing is, um, being a mother of a certain
Mhm.
quality, I would say, you want to shelter your kids, and you can't do that. It's like, what can you
Right.
do? You're worried about them leaving, you can't keep them home. Like, It's kind of
Right.
I mean, it's horrible. And now they can't
Exactly.
even go to school. Like that's
Nope.
crazy.
Nope.
It's crazy.
No. So yeah, that's some of the stuff that's going on in this world. And probably, I'm pretty sure there's a lot more that social media is not talking about or we don't see. Um, thanks to the internet, we get a glimpse of what's going on around the world. But yeah, so we're trying to bring ourselves out of that low vibrational state now and trying
Yeah, we
to
just had to get that out of there.
yeah, yeah.
Wanted to get
But
that out.
that's-
All right.
yeah.
On to lighter
So
and brighter things, right?
right.
So
Exactly.
uh, let's start here. So Sunday we were supposed to talk about Noah and the flood and the ark and the importance of it. So
Mhm.
I had presented the book of Jasper, which I mean it talked about a little bit about Noah and his family and his lineage. The book of
Mhm.
Maccabees talks about who Noah was, the first albino. His
Mhm.
father really didn't really know that it was his, and blah blah blah, so forth, so forth. But I
Right.
also presented, even though, like I said, I was nervous. I also presented another flood. I remember I had a conversation with you about a friend who was like, I'm like, he's confusing me about this, but no,
Yeah.
there was supposed to be another flood called the Aztec, and
That's
it was with Gilgamesh. I think that's where
mhm.
the confusion comes.
Oh,
I
okay,
really
okay.
didn't get into detail about that story, but he was supposed to be a part of a flood as well.
Ah,
That's where the confusion came in at.
okay.
But I've made that point to say this because we about to go with a deeper thing. So they say, or prophets have said, one in particular by the name of Ellen G. White, I think I've presented her several times here on this
Mhm.
platform, has said
Yeah.
that in the last days, we don't know what the last days really are, but whatever, in the last days, our time will be somewhat, or it will be similar to how it was in the days of Noah.
Okay. Okay.
If I could picture what the times of Noah was, like
Mhm.
according to Jasper, they were absolutely doing DNA slicing,
Yeah.
cloning,
Mhm.
technology,
Yes.
um, everything under the sun that I feel like we're doing now, trying to transfer consciousness, um,
Yes.
all of those things.
Right. So basically, you're saying that in the days of Noah, they weren't wearing flip flops and drapes over them. They were actually like we are today with technology, cell phones, planes, cars, um, DNA splicing, all the stuff that we're doing today. And in those days, they were also doing that as well.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. And this is how, well, actually, their technology is way advanced than ours. But you have things like the pyramids and Easter Island and all these Stonehenge and structures that we have around the world, the ley lines and all this kind of stuff that were built by humans. But like we couldn't do that today. Even technology, you can't build a pyramid like they got up there in Giza.
I beg to differ. I feel like
Mhm.
that technology still exists. It's just not
Okay.
exposed to us. Because if you go
Yeah.
to those,
Okay.
if you're a geek like I am, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, a little bit of a tech geek, you realize that there is technology ions. Like what they present to us is nothing.
It's
Like
not. Yeah.
so they
Yeah.
have it. It's just that they have to lead us up to it. Like from the
Right.
Flintstones to the Jetsons type of thing. That type. So they had.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Oh my god. But yeah, that is something that is very interesting, and I think I'll just wait for the day to come where all of it comes out. They just tell us. I
So
think if
question,
they tell us, it'd be the day that we'd be set free
free
from
from
our
what?
own from our own bondage, working, paying taxes, 9 to 5. Like we take orders from machines, traffic lights, and signals. Tell us when to stop and go. They don't even speak, but they tell us to stop and go. Oh, it's in the and regards to safety, blah 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 blah. Too many people on the highway, so we have to keep these controls. But hindsight, we we're being told what to do. But, they're leaving sticky notes all over the place. Speed limit is 55 miles an hour. It's a sticky note. You know, it's like me putting one on the refrigerator saying, "Don't eat my dish." But there'll be a time where we're gonna be set free from that. I mean, I'm pretty sure in the days it wasn't all this stuff, speed limits, and you know, all this.
I'm pretty sure it was, but it absolutely got destroyed because of
Mhm.
whatever flood. It probably was in that general area, like the United States. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
um, but going to that, right? They say that the sons of God got together, slept with
Mhm.
the children of men or the women of men,
Mhm.
made giants, blah blah blah. So,
Right.
what do you believe that these sons of God were? Who do you
Me,
believe?
per- me, I
Yeah,
believe there's
we
some
have
form
to
of. I
go
believe,
back and get into it. So I'm just leading you
yeah,
there.
yeah. I believe they were aliens. Well, what we would call aliens. They were human-like. We were like them, but they're far advanced and far different, far taller, far way stronger, way smarter than us. But I believe they were humans that came out here in ships. Um, I mean, I know when we read out the book, we are imagining angels like little like wings
Yeah,
and
but the Bible has identified that angels that don't even have sexual organs, so it can be angels.
A- AIs. AIs don't have sexual organs.
They don't.
Nope, they can't procreate. Nope, they
They
can't
don't.
procreate. They can be like us and live for a very long time. They can remake us. They can copy themselves, but they can't procreate. They don't have no organs.
That's true. That's
Yep.
that's a thought.
Yeah.
That's a thought. That is a thought.
So, I mean,
Can make them in
it's,
different types of forms and yeah, okay.
yeah,
That's a
exactly. Just like the gray aliens are according to different witness I was it believe that they are drones. They're not. They're saying that it could be us in the future, but we believe that they're drones. They're just AIs come back and just do everything. I mean, think about it. The universe is huge. It's very vast. I mean, look at my telescope. It's humongous. All I can see in my backyard with my telescope is probably about the size of a dime. I see billions of galaxies and stars through this small little thing. So yeah, I figure for us to travel from point A to point B would take a lot of years. Like, unless we travel at the speed of light. But even let's say their Proxima Centauri is like 6,000 light years away. If I'm traveling at the speed of light, it's gonna take 6,000 years to get there. Can't do
You
that.
really
But
believe that though?
that the universe and all. Well, I only believe it based off of what I'm looking at. I know what NASA's putting out there. I don't believe everything NASA puts out. Like the ISS. Many conspiracies said that the ISS is actually under the ocean somewhere
I
right now.
believe that.
Yeah, no, I believe that. But when I look at through my telescope, when I put my app to track over the ISS, and look at my telescope. I even Facebook Lived it one night when I was out working, and then my app went on. So I just had to go live and we
Then
look at
realize the theory so is above as below. So I mean,
yeah, it's the same theory as that like outer space is it possible like outer space is an ocean. I do believe outer space is an ocean because when I look through my telescope, I swear to you, looks like I'm looking through a glass of water, or like at your bottom of the pool, you look up to the pool and everything above that water is shimmering. That's what it looks like through my telescope when I'm looking at a star, even a planet, even the moon. Even if you see some of the videos on the moon, you see those waves in there. If you look at it, you can never see the waves in there, like through water. But one of the conspiracy are to get to Mars is actually we don't go to space and travel to Mars. It's actually that we like you ever watch all of NASA's rocket launches? Rocket doesn't go straight up. It goes like this. All the rocket launches, they all go like they just diving into the ocean. Now NASA, of course, says because NASA has Q&A. If you ask them why did the rockets look, they say, well, what they do is instead of launching off the planet in a straight line, you kind of launch around the planet and then shoot off that way. Is their explanation. But
that's
according to
retarded.
theory,
But okay, we got planes that can fly. Okay, all right.
yeah, Yeah, I know. Yeah, and according to theorists, that to get to Mars or any other planet we want to, we go through the ocean. To go through the ocean and go so and get to another planet, almost like
I mean, if
the
you look at the movies like Thor and not really Star Trek, but like Star Wars and stuff like that, they absolutely do go through something like that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's amazing, but and this is like again, this is what I see from my telescope. How when I look at the night skies, I'm looking at different things. I'm like, why does it look like even the sun? You get to there's some little gold sun shield that welders use. Look at the sun. You actually see solar flares and the mass ejections come up. See, you can literally look at it with your own eyes. So when it comes to flat Earth and the dome and all kinds of like that, it's like I'm half and half because some of the flat Earth theories are very well good theories, and everything. And so it's kind of I'm kind of halfway between the flat Earth and the dome and everything. Nobody still that can explain where the meteors come from. You and I and everybody in the world, at least once in life, saw a shooting star. If we're in the dome, why didn't if it's on the outside of the dome, why didn't we crack the dome open? Like the Chelsea adventure, the Russian meteor that came in, they killed injured thousands, millions of dollars in damage. They recovered the rock that came from the atmosphere. So was that staged? Was that not true? I mean, it's caught live on a lot of video feeds and cameras, and everybody around the world can see it. You go online and see it right now. I've seen plenty of shooting stars in my lifetime. Especially I'm the type of person that hang out at nighttime driving on it long, so you get to see a lot of stuff. So how would you explain that if we're in the dome, or not necessarily the flat Earth, but if we're in the dome? How come I can look at Saturn, Jupiter, Venus, Mars through my telescope, even see all the moons of Saturn and Jupiter's, but we're living on a flat planet?
What was what if the explanation is that that is all in the dome?
Well, all that within the dome,
Right.
because the dome is a lot bigger
We're part
than
of the
what
Milky
we're perceiving. It's bigger. Maybe the
The whole
galaxy
Milky Way galaxy.
is in the dome, and this is why we
Probably
see
why
everything.
we can't go anywhere and leave up out of it and blah blah blah, so forth, so
Right,
forth.
right.
And the question would be, we are having what we would call a lot of visitation. Why do you
Hmm.
think they're coming here?
So, so you ever did there was an experiment done, right? Where you would take an explosive at the bottom of the pool, right? And you would detonate this explosion. And um, in the explosion, a dome is created. Yeah, check it out on some of the videos. I'm seeing some of the videos. A dome is created. All this happened instantaneously. Because when that bomb explodes in water, it pushes the water out and creates a dome. And right in the center of that dome is a very bright, hot light. All this is just instantaneous. You watch it. And it's like separating the waters above from the waters below. Could that be the Big Bang Theory that we all talk about? They said the universe is expanding at an alarming rate. And one day it's going to reach its maximum expansion and then contract back. They also detect this thing called the Great Distractor, like something's pulling towards it, even against gravity. So there are a lot of theories in the dome and everything, flat Earth, what I'm seeing in my telescope versus what they're saying is not real and everything. So it's like it's just I'm still stuck halfway. So I can't get on a rocket and go up myself. Actually take a look. Now there are many guys who did GoPro cameras, launch it up, and everything, but it still see the same thing. The exact same thing. This you really don't see whether the earth is round or flat or oblong, whatever the case may be, And that was my argument with flat earth theories in the beginning. They're using measurements to measure the horizon of a ship leaving away from you. And at a certain point, at a certain mile, like 100 miles, you should see the ship because over the curvature of the earth. You can't see the ship anymore. But you don't. The ship goes beyond. You can really zoom in on the ship. So my argument was that, okay, if the earth is a ball and at the center of the earth we're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. What happens to the ball? Comes oblong, like an oval. So maybe the measurements for a flat Earth should be different. It should be measured as a oval Earth, more or less a flat Earth. You say flat Earth, you think of this, thinking of flat Earth, versus something that looks like an egg, because the sun is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. Because for the times we're on Titanic cruise, so the Earth does you know does things. It contracts and back and forth. That's why it's like the planet Europa, the ice planet. With the ocean, how the water stays warm. Because of Jupiter. I mean, one of the moons, Europa, because that moon is being stretched by Jupiter, stretch and pull. That creates that friction, keeps the water underneath the bottom nice and warm. Christ. But yeah, so yeah, that's that little thing right there. Um, One of the I find very interesting and stuff and everything. So, what else we want to talk about today? See,
I don't
human
know. Talking about how ISIS
ISIS,
camera, yeah,
ISIS,
how it's
ISIS.
camera, ISIS.
Oh, you hear about the massive UFO fleets? So I saw this video where these well, it didn't like UFOs. It was like points of light, according to the recorder, the people actually recording. They're doing live. People sit around and just look at NASA's footage all day long, and these massive fleets and lights are coming on the screen, big ones, little ones, and they were not only just going across the screen freely. You see some of them making 90-degree turns. That's what got my attention. People go across the film, like it could be debris, ice particles, I don't know, glitches on the TV screen. But as I'm watching, I can see certain lights come across the screen, stop, then shoot off in a different direction. So I'm like, oh, that was a 90-degree turn. Wait a minute, that's self-control. And then you start to pinpoint different lights that are doing different things, coming back into field of view. Wait, then the feed was cut instantly. When I went to research the feed myself, couldn't
Couldn't
find it.
find it. It's gone.
Nope, couldn't find
Somewhat
it.
like how last year that moon that came through ISIS, and now you can't find the footage for it.
Exactly,
And it's
exactly.
like
And
when
then,
you ask, some people saw it. I was one of those people who saw that moon
yeah,
when it was there. So I mean,
yeah, exactly. Same thing with
why
the two suns.
not like we don't know? Like there's people catching stuff every day.
Yeah,
We know.
every day, every single day we catch stuff, and of course they play it off, swamp gas, it's an illusion. Oh no, that's not a ship right there. You clearly see the lights and everything else. So, and then again, the way the world, you and I are finding out more and more. It might be just us finding those machines. You
That's
know,
true.
maybe I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for either Inky or Enlil to announce themselves to the world. I mean, Jesus. I'm just waiting for them to announce themselves.
I need to stop that. I had to make an announcement last week or Sunday letting people know it's not that we don't believe in Jesus. This is just
Right,
not in
right.
the sense of everybody else believes in Jesus. And I don't believe that his name was Jesus. I believe his name
Yeah.
was Jesus. Or,
Right,
excuse me, it's wrong. His name was
right,
Yahshua.
right.
So
Yeah,
we say these things, and Lil makes his jokes. Please don't judge his heart. It's just that he
yeah.
has
That definitely
his
not an atheist.
he
Yeah,
just
that's
has
for sure.
studies, and so he wants just like me for people to just open their eyes and see. Like I was having a
Mm-hmm.
conversation with a family member, and I was letting them know, not really talking about race, but have to talk about race. Like we were the ones that weren't able to read anything. We would get killed. But yet they gave us a Bible and tell us children obey our masters. Now, in the 1800s, they definitely did have a different Bible than what we had. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So it probably was more informative. But the Bible that we have now super washed down. So we have to be careful. Like they say, read the Bible. You have to read the Bible within spirit so that you can indulge in those or secret
right.
coding that God is actually trying to tell you. So when we say things
Exactly.
like, Jesus, blah, 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 we got to come to realize that at a certain time in history, there was no J. you know what I'm saying? There was a Y, and his name was Yeshua in Hebrew, and in some kind of way it got translated to Jesus, and Jesus in Spanish means Jesus, and that is also a Greek god. So they probably possibly are saying Hail Zeus. So therefore, just like I said, don't judge our hearts. It's just some things that we're learning, and we all growing. So I mean,
Yeah.
information or knowledge is power anyway. So yeah.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, I'm definitely not an atheist. I do pray. I do pray to a God, but I pray within because if you think about it, right? God created the heavens, which is the universe, right? As we know, everything about the universe, right? That is God. God is the great I am. That's it. That's what God is. It's everything. It's me, you, everything is God. God, and I look within because there are things that I've learned over the years about myself, meaning like the most active things, the most active elements or atoms in the universe, which would be carbon, hydrogen, um, oxygen, and water. Same thing as this, within our own bodies. And
Mhm.
with that being said, it's like we don't live in the universe. The universe lives with us, lives within us. So I'm definitely not an atheist. I do pray, not just the way everybody else pray. I did go to church. I was raised up as a Christian in the home, Sunday schools and all. My children was raised as Catholics and baptized as Catholics and everything. And I read many Bibles, many books, did many studies for years. And and like I said, a lot of times when I like to run across certain topics, I like to go out and get it right from the horse's mouth. If I can go dig up something, I go dig it myself. I spoke to cardinals and rabbis and preachers, and had many conversations and questions. Some of them are kind of
Another thing that God has given us is the freedom of choice and the freedom of
yeah, exactly,
yeah, free choice.
exactly.
And another thing that I have learned is when God created man, right?
Mm-hmm.
So everything else he spoke into existence, right? So that means
Right,
that words are powerful. We have to be careful with what we say, right?
right,
But when he created man, he stepped outside. It stepped outside of itself. You get what I'm saying? To
right,
create physical. So
right.
in order for us to exhibit God or how Jesus would say the spirit or
Mhm.
Jesus, here I stand at the door and knock. The knocking is your heart. So that means you do have to go within. So God
Yeah,
stepped outside itself to create us, but we have to go within to connect to it.
right. Exactly. Because I said better myself.
Mm, I'm learning and I'm
Exactly.
growing. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
I
I mean,
mean, like I said, I'm getting to a point where I don't know if I told you or if I told some people, I'm getting to a point of it, like I was saying before, my
mhm.
own understanding, which with that means I have to not be proud, but have some type of security within
Yes,
myself. So within
yes,
that, you know what I'm saying, I can't be afraid of certain things, but I can explain, you know what I'm saying, where I'm
yeah,
coming from so that those who are connected with us will understand like no, we're not saying go against your religion, we're not saying go against your belief. These are just things that we have learned or you know what I'm
yeah.
saying that make resonate with you. That's all.
Right, right. And that's what we're here for. We share up the little information, have good talks and chats about it. Let's talk about it. Bring it to the table and everything. Wait for somebody to pop on now. Let's see if we can have a good chat.
I know, right, Daddy, and they said give him a few minutes.
Cool,
I guess
cool.
they
Because I
trying
have
to stop.
questions.
That shit is terrible. So, what else we want to talk about?
Let's see here. So, oh,
I
when I
got a
get
question.
it
Go ahead.
next, huh? What?
Go ahead.
What happened?
Go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead.
the next time we doing the air, cause I'm gonna do a little bit more, or I'm gonna say I'm gonna refresh myself with it. I'm gonna talk about Nikola Tesla and
Okay.
Westinghouse, and the inventions. And as a matter of fact, Tesla is one of the people from his work that I've learned that enticed me to go on this journey. When I read that, everything that we do, and everything about our lives is based off of energy, frequencies, and vibration. And at the very beginning of that, I never understood what that meant. Yeah, it's the basic. Yeah, everything's vibrating, but science can't explain why my hand can pass through this counter if both our hands are made of atoms that are vibrating, blah blah blah. So, what I've learned about Tesla and his inventions that he had his hands in, like I can say this much: everything with the motor, hair dryers, microwaves, wash machines, dryers, dishwasher, everything with small motors comes from Tesla's patent. All of it, everything, like
Yeah, but
literally.
I'm not knocking Tesla at all.
Yeah,
Not in any
mhm,
way because he brought information to us that we didn't know about.
yeah,
Everybody has a teacher. Nothing's
yeah,
new under the sun. If we go to
yeah.
the hieroglyphics, we'll see that they were absolutely doing those things as well. So it's like, who was your teacher? Who inspired
Who was
you?
Tesla's teacher? He said he in his book. He said he got his knowledge from aliens. He got his knowledge from aliens. He said they would come to him when he's meditating or sleep and give him all this knowledge. That's not the first time I heard
That's
geniuses
me neither.
say,
I've heard Michael Jackson say that's how he gets songs. That's
yeah,
why he used to take those shots that killed him.
yeah.
That's why.
Albert Einstein said that, 'cause, in the beginning, Albert Einstein was a joke. Einstein was a really very brilliant man in the beginning. He failed a lot of classes. He failed college. Actually, he literally failed college, and he stated that his information comes to him as math and everything comes in his head from another place. Same thing with Stephen Hawkins. All these people, they're getting these downloads, what you and I call them, these downloads, and they're
Hmm.
coming up with the public with it. But Tesla, he created the ham radio so that he had his own patent in Bluetooth radio, Bluetooth. This tablet that we're talking on right now, the string we're talking right now, it's all Tesla's work. I think Elon brought all Tesla's product. Just saying. I'm just saying. But I want to get more on him and how the AC/DC came about. If anybody know what that alternate current, direct current, Westinghouse. Westinghouse was big when I was growing up. With all the appliances like GE, Westinghouse, all the appliances, water dryers, refrigerator, TVs. Um, yeah, that was a big thing. And because you and I was tapping on earlier about conspiracy when it comes to every time somebody find a patent for something, they mysteriously die from some type of cause, accident, sickness, or something like that.
No.
I'm gonna definitely get back with you guys on Tesla and dig a little bit more deep into that. Cause I even heard that Tesla had a part of something to do with the Philadelphia experiment.
Hmm.
Yeah. So that's something that I will get back with you guys on. But I have a question. And they make man, I don't know if this is a statement, but a question. Yeah, it's more of a question. So why is it that when we're born, when it comes to age, because somebody said to me, boss, you don't look 53 years old, man. You look good. And I say, well, thank you, but what does a 53-year-old supposed to look like? I mean, who wrote a book that says, like, where's that book at? I can open a book, go, at the age of 60, you should look like this. And I see somebody go, wow, you don't look 60. Like, who wrote that book and who certified that person to say that book is legit? And why is it that when we're born, it starts from zero, day one, time of birth?
That's the first day that you actually leave up out of your habitation and into Earth.
Well, okay, so
Journey
when
around for 10 months or so. And
yeah,
then you come into Earth, and here's your day one passport to Earth. Hi, how are you? It's like
that way you get the birth certificate, right? I
it's like
understand.
this. It's like this. Hey, this is probably old as crap, right? This is probably old as crap. 30 days to decide after I purchase it if I want to take it back or not.
Yeah, right, exactly. So during conception or after conception, none of those counts because the heart starts. So if you look into it, after conception, we're nothing more than just a clump of cells that are just building constantly, right? And then once the heart is complete, in that process, it starts beating. And if you look into it, scientists and doctors and scholars do not know what starts the heart.
God.
All they know is that when it does start, there's a burst of light, and it's been caught and recorded.
Mhm.
The minute the last structure of the heart is complete, there's a burst of light and the heart starts up.
That
Someone would say that that's when the soul enters into the body, when that light strikes that heart, right?
exactly.
So why couldn't
Knew
that
you
be our
right
birthday?
before you knew you existed. Because even though that is the first day that that person's heart is beating, they're not counting that. The reason why they count that, you need so um you put some plants in the garden. You plant your
Yeah.
seeds or whatever, you water it, you grow it, it gets light, it gets um wind and everything that it needs. You're doing this. It isn't until you see that first sprout
Right.
that you know that your creation has started to be what it is. So
Yeah.
yeah, while that baby is incubating and growing and blah 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 blah, like I
Mhm.
said, once it comes out of that birth canal, this is day one of you being on earth.
Okay. Okay.
And
So
because honestly, we don't know what that baby looked like or is inside of us except for what they show us.
right. Right. Exactly. Exactly. So I guess so. I'm trying to wrap that around my mind on why is it to set. Well, I guess that falls right along with the whole abortion thing that was going on. And still is going on to today. You when does the fetus have rights to live? You know, and everything. And according to certain situations, where exceptions will be made. But even still, like, I didn't ask to be here. Whether my dad raped my mom or she she damn whatever case may be, and how old she was, I still didn't ask to be here. So I have the right to be chopped up and sucked out into the tube, and then be recounted to make sure you sucked everything out. You know, that's
Like I am I'm sorry, I'm cold. But
yeah,
I am so all right with this Libra thing, we about balance, right? So
yeah,
let's weigh these things out, right? We know that there is a great big evil um that is known but nobody pays attention to, right?
right,
So you go and you sit on a a place and you get a baby, whether it is 3 weeks or 7 months, because
right,
they can do that, and you
right.
get it reported. Some people have to legitly have um a whole labor, depending on
Okay.
how far they. And some
Yes.
people they just suck and crush the thing up. Question is, what do they do with that, right?
Right.
So let's
Right.
do
Right.
now we trying to weigh out, what I'm saying, we trying to weigh some things out. What do they do with it?
Yeah.
Maybe these people who are saying, "Hey, we just cutting abortions out altogether," is because
Right.
they know what's going on behind the scenes that we're not quote unquote privy to. They
Right.
trying to
Right.
stop things. But then on the other hand, I get it as a woman. I have that choice because I
Right.
may have someone who decide that dude may decide they don't want no baby, or maybe I got things that I feel like I absolutely need to do before I have a kid. So yeah,
Right.
that shouldn't be my choice. But then, like I said, on the other hand, you got those other things that play into play because I can technically go to the hospital after having and see the baby, but it can't go with me after an abortion. So where does it go?
Right.
What do they do with it? So maybe those, maybe those people are deciding, hey, what's going on behind the scenes? We stopping this. So y'all
Right.
need to have these babies. But then again, we also have this thing about we don't have formula. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right. Right.
naturally, a mother is supposed to have a baby to a breast. That's natural. Everybody knows that. But
Right.
some people can't do that. So you bringing in these babies and we don't have food for them. Like what are we
Right.
really doing? So we gotta weigh out all the, what I'm saying, like all the options. I personally
Right.
believe it should be a woman's choice. It should be a woman's choice because if that's the case, then it goes to, okay, well, if I gotta keep this baby, then that dad needs to start paying child support as soon as we find out that we're having a baby. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
it's a lot to it.
Right. And Brandon there, he made a comment. He says,
Right.
right, you got the body, you got the form. That is absolutely correct.
That's true.
And that's what our ancestors did.
Yes, it is. But everybody is not like that. Everybody doesn't believe in that. I mean,
Right.
what can you do?
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Like I
Man.
said, there's. You gotta, like I said, I'm that Libra, so you gotta weigh out all those things. Like we know the evil side to it. We know what they, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Everybody's not privy to that. So it's like maybe those people that are now coming into high ranks are like, we stopping this. And then maybe
Yes.
it'll stop people from having kids as much. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, they're not
Right.
stopping birth control. They're not stopping condoms. They're not stopping you from abstinence. They're just
Right.
saying once you become pregnant, we're not paying for abortions. And, I mean,
Right. Exactly.
it's
Right.
a lot.
Right.
It's a lot to it.
Oh yeah, it is a lot. It's a lot to what we do anyway.
But
Oh
yes,
man.
I mean, it's a conversation that definitely needs to be had.
Yeah.
And like I said, then you have these kids that grow up that you can't protect, you can't take care of.
Nope.
You think
They
they can
make their own.
they getting shot up, and I
Yeah.
and I'm sorry to say it like this, but I could have got rid of this little bastard from the jump. No, this just saying.
Oh my God. But yeah,
But
it's
it
something
is a
that
lot.
I just think that if you were to take away, you was to take away time, clocks and everything else, and falling back on the topic about age,
That
take
is
time
correct.
away, you wouldn't know how old you are. You wouldn't even know. You wouldn't even begin to imagine how many years you lived.
That's
You,
true.
it,
That
there
would
was
be living eternally to me.
yes, yeah, yeah. Because we all know time is an invention. Time really doesn't exist because it just help us to put us in a place or help us to identify where we think we are at the very moment. That's how time works. Um, but of course, when you listen to a lot of astronauts talk and everything, they go up to in space on the ISS and everything. There's no morning, noon, night. There's no seasons. There's no, those things
I
doesn't
really
exist.
believe that seasons was created, but that's another story for another day.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
Brandon, yes, you're absolutely right. He said people behind the rule of the nation needs them aborted kids. How you think Rothschilds is still alive? We can go into the 13 families.
oh yeah.
There are people
I,
that don't.
I, I believe, I believe that how I think. Are you asking how do we know we think the Rothschilds are alive?
What he said was people behind the rule of the nation need
Yes.
them aborted babies. How do you think the Rothschilds are still alive?
Right.
It was a statement. It wasn't really a yeah.
Yeah.
We know
Yeah.
about that. That's why I said there's a balance. That's why I said I have to have balance because these people that are coming into high rank now knows this. And so this is why they're stopping abortions because I mean this is
Yeah.
a great evil by our imagination. You know what I'm saying? And for
Right.
reasons that a lot of people aren't privy to, So when what it's like, am I for abortion, pro abortion? You know what I'm saying? Am I not for it? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, that's just like we got a president right now. I mean, since we want to go there, we got a president right now that has children coming off the plane by the dozens.
Yeah, but you know what they doing with kids.
Why?
Yeah, you know what it is. What they doing with those kids. It's basically what these some of these stars are these high ranking movie stars or rappers or singers or whatever are doing with these children. It's like the fountain of youth or chasing the high. It's just not that they are just like raping children for sexual pleasure. It's bigger than that. It's it's
Oh yeah,
bigger
that's what
than
we're talking about. These aborted children, like that's blood.
yeah. Yeah, and that's what it
Blood
is. So
energy is in the blood. Like,
the-
this is why
right,
our ancestors used to say, if we eat meat, it has to be kosher, which means that we had to drain out all of that blood because the energy is in the blood.
and the
This is
knowledge,
why I'm
all of
saying,
it,
yeah, this.
connection.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's all in the blood. And if you really look into, what happens to a child and why they're doing it to an individual child, you get to understand. And there's so many levels of this. It's just not like you get a child and X, Y, and Z. It is so many levels of what they do. That's why it goes from
Yeah, who is
basic.
the name of that lady? Just her name, Julia Roberts.
Yeah, yeah.
Adopted a bunch of children. Where they at? I ain't seen them since we found out she adopted them.
You want to hear one? Here's a good one for you, right? When your child is born, you deliver the baby. What comes next after the baby?
And take
The
them
placenta.
away.
The placenta, right? That's no. Just the yeah. They take the baby, right? You mix it and everything. Then comes the placenta, right? So with the placenta, they ask you if you know, hey, you guys gonna keep the placenta or not? They ask you before or during the birth. And
What's
if you
going
don't
on,
look,
peoples?
hey, what's up, Brandon?
Sorry to interrupt.
No,
Can you
you good. Give me
One
like
second,
three
let him
seconds.
finish the thought. Yeah, go ahead.
3 seconds. So
can you see me?
Yeah,
yep,
we
I can
can
see
see.
you.
Give us a 2nd.
Okay.
Yeah. What they do, they take the placenta, right? Once the placenta falls into the pan, and I watched them with I got number 10 on the win. When the placenta falls into the pan, when you say you don't want it or you pre-write that you don't want it in the beginning, that thing leaves the room in seconds.
Check this
Gone.
out. Before you even give birth, they
Right.
ask you about that. What they do is they give you some information about stem cell. They don't tell you that stem cell comes from your placenta, blah 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 blah. So you
Yeah.
signing your rights away without knowing what's going on in the first place. You're right, Brandon. You said what happened to Brandon and Angelina kids? You're right.
Right.
So yeah.
It's gone. So, I wouldn't be surprised in the next room heating up in the microwave for about 30 seconds,
I
So we
mean,
got
people.
to
That's where all the nutrients are anyway. I tell people that all the time. But
yeah.
now we have our guest on the line.
What's
Woo-hoo.
up? What's up, family?
Hey.
What's going on?
How you doing, Mars? Good to see you.
And, I'm doing good. Still live here,
Uh
hanging
huh.
in there. Are you not working? You're out and about tonight, or you working?
I'm working. I'm over here in Middletown, Delaware, right now.
Oh, cool. Okay. All right, go to
Yeah.
Delaware. Say hi to my kids over there.
Hey guys.
Oh man. So, hey, Vernon.
Oh,
So we're talking about different things. I know you're heavy into astrology, right?
okay. Okay.
You know, and with everything going on in the world today, what do you think is going on with us today, far wise is the turn of times, or I don't know, there's God going to soon return, or end of days. Can you give me a little bit of insight on that?
All right. You want to know about the end of days?
Yeah, give me a little bit about end
Yes,
of
the
days,
end time. As far as
the end time.
Well,
astrology.
I grew up led to believe notice what I'm saying here, led to believe that the end of the times we're all going to disappear. A certain amount of people going to disappear. Certain amount of people going to be here for the trials and tribulations. Blah blah blah. Only to get older and realize as this time started approaching closer and closer to where we're at, with everything happening over the past, say, 2 years, it's more just a shift from one zodiac to another. And
Okay.
it's all explained biblically, even in the book of Revelations. It says for 2,000 years, the last and that's how long each zodiac takes to go from one position to the next. 2,160 years. So
Okay.
we've been lied to. I've
Yeah.
been lied to. And I don't, when I first realized it, it broke my heart and I teared up a little bit. But the reality is the reality. And I'm glad that I'm on board. I'm glad to know and be conscious because even the Bible says in the last days, those that have eyes will see, and those that have ears will hear. So we're
Yes.
going from the age of Pisces, and it's a dogfight. It's a dogfight into what we call the age of Aquarius.
Okay.
And it
So
ain't
what would
taking
be
no
the age of
prisoners.
Aquarius? Can we get a definition of what the age of Aquarius is? Like what we're ushering in?
uh, the time of knowledge, the time of information, the times where things will be in the air, the ether. There's so many different components to it, with it, and about it. It's kind of difficult to explain in its entirety, But the reality is, people are waking up. Listen, last night I was at home. I took a day off and I'm watching a Christian program called The Kingdom something. I can't remember all the details about it, but I'm watching it, and I noticed that they're showing a black raven. And these are Christians. I'm talking about Kirk Franklin was in it, C.C. Winings was in it, and there were other
Mm.
actors in it. Yeah, big time, right? And I'm
Wow.
watching this show. Yeah, and here Kirk Franklin is dissecting and giving information to C.C. Winans, who had this dream about a raven, which represents death,
Okay.
and the raven lost a feather. Well, come to find out, when she talked with Kurt Franklin about it, um, there was a woman named Raven that died, and according, this is part of the movie and the theatrics of it. Um, CC Winings had a problem with this lady in the past, and she wanted the big time. She wanted all the accolades and all the Grammys and so forth for the gospel industry.
Okay.
Uh, in this dream, there was that raven. The raven dropped a feather.
Huh.
So CC Wiley, she's sitting in one of the shows that they were having at her church, and not knowing this, and I'll explain it to you as I go on.
Uh-huh.
There was a woman that started singing that wasn't supposed to be in the show. Come to find out, the lady that was singing was the daughter of the woman that passed away.
Wow.
And I thought to myself, that was the feather. That represented the feather. And this is what Kurt Franklin was breaking down to her. And I thought to myself, watching this, like, wow, even the Christians are getting this type of information, whether they know it, accept it as it is or not. They're getting it. And it's in the movie theaters. It's on TV. They're showing us that they know. They know.
Right. Okay. Good deal. Okay. Sorry that. So yeah, we definitely go into the age of Aquarius, and what we were taught as young people, is not actually the truth. So I'm gonna throw a little curveball out there with you. So do you think that some during this great transformation or great awakening, as we're doing this transformation from the age of Pisces to the age of Aquarius, will it involve gods, angels, and demons, or aliens, humans, and technology? What is your thought on that?
All right, explain that one more time.
So in this transformation that we're going to go through from Pisces to the Aquarius, Age of Aquarius, right?
Uh-huh.
Um, During this great time, these last days, do you think, based off of what you know, this is the last days of during our last days? Does it involve gods, angels, and demons, or aliens, humans, and technology?
All the above.
What do you know? So you think that? So do you
All the
think that?
above.
Okay,
Yeah.
so is
Give an
this
example.
okay?
Scientists are finally coming out with evidence that there are such a thing as aliens. They
Yeah,
exist. They can't
yeah,
hide these facts any longer. I mean, biblically speaking, even Ezekiel saw the will.
yes,
Come on,
yes,
man. Come on.
yes,
Come on.
yes, it
You know,
is.
we were taught when I was growing up. We were taught that not to question the Bible. Don't do this. Don't. They couldn't even wear pants back then in the 60s and the 70s. Guess what?
Right,
You can't go to a church anymore and not find them wear pants. They're not going to
right,
die and go to hell. These threats
This
that
is
we've been
true.
under for so long. You know,
right.
it's almost like being governed during slave time, where the massa was sitting in the pews watching
Okay,
everything his pick uh, uh, was saying and correcting him. You know, it's
okay,
the same difference. It grew muscles.
right, right,
You understand what I'm saying? Now they don't have to be in the pews, but they're on the sidelines, and
right.
people report back to them what was said, what wasn't said, and then they make phone calls, and in some cases get bought out.
Hmm.
So yeah, all the aboves. The
Okay,
angels, angels, which I look at as the ancestors.
right, right.
You
Okay.
know,
Okay,
in other ways, it's the energies that comes from the sun, different rays that come from the sun. Angles. I also look at them as angels.
Okay.
ah,
Okay.
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 Okay. So when I was taught
Hmm.
as a kid, the beautiful angels with the instrument that they be playing and the big wings and all that is something that was taken advantage of, like played on my imagination to
Right.
keep me.
Or yeah, in a lot of cases they were looked at as demons. We're not some, that's a demon. This is a demon. That man, come on. Come on. Not everything out there is a demon or the
Right,
devil.
right. And we all
I
know,
feel like that, like they say, there is a again equal balance. There's a good and there's an evil. So it's like Gemini's two faced. I mean,
right, exactly.
so
Which we're
That's
in
you can
right
use
good.
it
now.
for
Right.
good and you can use it for evil. That's your choice. That's the choice we got.
Right.
Right.
Okay. All right. That's good. That's very, very, very good. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, that's real good. Do you got any questions for Mr. Vernon?
Mr. Vernon, I wanted to talk to you, and we wanted to have a whole session with you. But now that we got you,
And I'm working. How about that?
no, but we got you
So
here
I'm
now.
I'm
We
gonna be
got you here now.
multitasking.
We got
I'm
you
gonna be
here now.
multitasking.
All righty. You let us know about astrology. Me and you have had conversations that you pointed out to me that even Jesus used things in the Bible that absolutely demonstrated when he was talking about the Pisces season. You want to elaborate on that?
Talking about the pipe. Oh, you mean we're at the what was that? Oh, I'm trying to remember the
When he fed
particulars.
congregation that was hungry.
Okay, yeah. There's a couple things I'm thinking on, but yeah, the two fish,
Mm-hmm.
the two fish, and he fed
Mm-hmm.
5,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
That represents Pisces. How about in the upper room? Let's go to that story as well.
Okay.
In the upper room, after he came down from the upper room and everybody was filled what they call the Holy Spirit. I got to use those terms, not a ghost. It was not a ghost. They took the female out. And Big Mama energy is everywhere right now. Believe that.
Mm-hmm.
But believe it or not, put it that way. Believe it or not, but she is here. She's being unchained. All right, be that as it may. when he came down from the upper room, he told his disciples to follow the man with the pail into his house.
Okay, that would be the Aquarius season.
That's Aquarius.
Okay.
Come on, man. They told us. Biblically, they told us.
I will be with you. He said, I will be with you even to the end of age. Everybody changed.
That's
to
right.
The end of the earth, but the original text was to the end of the age. So, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, exactly right. So those are the 2 points that I hope I'm clear about.
Mm-hmm. Clear.
All right. Yeah, that was good.
I mean, it's all in the Bible. Everything that we're dealing with right now today was already perceived and already written. And the problem is, at least for me, and I got to personalize it, in studying the Bible, whether I was forced or not,
Right.
is I took it literally until I came to understand nobody in them days was named David. Nobody in them days was named Daniel, John, Matthews, Luke. You know, the list goes on.
Right.
They weren't named that. Matter of fact, and I'm pretty sure the conscious people know this, that the letter J didn't even come into existence till the 1600s.
Right. Right. Exactly.
We just elaborated on that a little bit too. Yep. So go ahead. Keep going.
It's the 1600s. And even Google has that information.
Right.
You can Google that. Come on. These people want truth, but then they're afraid to upset the balance. It's too uncomfortable. Not realizing that you have to be uncomfortable in order to get comfortable. It wasn't comfortable coming out your mom's womb.
Right.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Right.
We've been dumbed down so far, and it's sad to me.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Exactly.
It is. Once you start learning more, it really is. It is. It is.
Yeah.
And that's why we
it's
had
a heartbreaker.
Because it's people that are struggling to try to get the understanding. And we always tell them all the time, if you have information for us, let us know. If you need clarity, if we can help you, like that's what we are here for. Because this season that is coming into fruition, it's opening a lot of people's eyes. It really is. It's like so much information out here that it's a lot. So you know, if we narrow it down and try to chug a lug through this narrow path to try to, you know what I'm saying, get through the debris to get some understanding, that's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
Right. And see, that's another thing about the Age of Aquarius, Morris, in response to more of the question you asked earlier. This age in Aquarius, people that are Aquarius know this to be true. We love information. We love learning. Now it's being poured on the world. You cannot escape it. Everybody wants to know more.
Right.
Because we know, in our DNA, it's already locked in. We know, but we can't sometimes articulate what we know. Because we weren't taught it. We weren't handed it. You know, like we were handed the Bible. That was easy.
Right.
Okay, take this Bible, take this Quran, take this Torah, and that's what you go by. That's what you go by. That's it. That's all. Don't ask no questions, blah, blah, blah. Nowadays, because of, look, the internet is part of Aquarius. Live stream TV is part of Aquarius. These UFOs that are being located is part of Aquarius. All this information, because Aquarians love knowledge. They love listening. They love as well as giving.
Right.
It's give and take, like Leisha was pointing out. It's give and take. Now, you can stay dumb all you want to, or in other words, in the Christian language, you'll get left behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll get left behind.
That is absolutely true.
Stay in that box if you want to. This is your way out. And as I've heard it said, this is our golden age. And I'm talking about melanated people. This is our golden age. This is where we can capitalize on things. And we need to take advantage of that.
It's showing that. It really is showing that now we're learning. I think that the COVID shutdown taught us how to have our own independence and not, you know, to think worry about the 9 to 5 and where the money's going to come in. I've seen a lot of people haven't even went back because
Right.
they feel their own independence. So yeah,
Hmm.
Maybe that's the
Hmm.
lesson that we all
And
need to
how
be taught.
and how many businesses, especially I got to include this with melanated people, has started opening up like throughout this. I'm gonna just reduce it to the United States. Um, how many people have opened up their own businesses? I'm talking
yeah,
about the melanated people, their own
yeah.
business. Mars got me got me involved in opening up my own businesses,
Yeah,
business as far as trucking some years
Mhm.
yeah,
ago. You know, how many smoothies and juicers and all these different things that are happening in our community now.
exactly.
This is a part of it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, when the knowledge, when I say the knowledge is pouring in, it's pouring in. They talking about being healthy and we've always promoted that, especially, diabetes, heart problems. They always promoted it, but it's not as major as it is now. They're getting back to the point where they're talking about, hey, we about to dig up the roots and plant them ourselves. So it's good
Right,
to see that we are getting uplifted in all kinds of ways of knowledge because what you don't know, the other person may, and they can help you, carry along. So
Right.
that's been a great thing to
right.
see.
And the unity that I'm seeing with us. I mean,
Hmm.
yeah, you still got some remnants that still exist, and of course you're going to have that. But at the same time, you have people with that information. Another thing I would add to the conversation is how many people are running away. I didn't say walking away. I didn't say leaving. I said running away
Yes.
from the church.
That's true.
Because when you
I
know
don't even
better, you
think
do
they went
better.
back. I don't even think a lot of people went back after it shut the shutdown. Like,
Hmm. It was so many people at that time, let's say 2020, that I was talking to that were, Christians. There's nothing wrong with that,
nope.
but it was the way that it was their approach to it. But anyways, they were so distraught and disappointed and let down because these major pastors, preachers that are on TV every Sunday was begging for money, opening up the doors while this coronavirus was running rampant.
Wow.
You
That's
know,
true.
and they got very disappointed, but they didn't know what else to do. It's like they don't know how to serve God without a church.
I
Right.
mean,
When
it
even
was
their own
presented to
Bible.
me. Listen, it was presented to me by my elder, right? That we're supposed to go to church because that's where the spirit is, where one or more are gathered, that's where he is in the midst, and that Jesus was in the synagogue. And I was telling my elder, like, I feel like there's nothing wrong with that. I think we've had a conversation of I don't think there is one person who has not started the foundation of church. That is where you first are introduced to your spirituality. Everybody has to have that. But then there are times where everybody branches off and does their own thing to learn who they are, what they like, what they don't like. Sometimes you have people who come back, which I personally feel like church is a hospital. You go
Yeah.
here, you go here, you know what I'm saying? You come back and you life because it's right. That energy is catching, it's captivating. It is, but after church is where the work begins. So I mean,
Right.
some people are there to absolutely keep that going. The volunteers, the nurses, the doctors, blah blah blah. But then you still have to do the work yourself. You still have to do the exercise. You still have to eat, blah, blah, blah. So I was trying to tell my elder that, and they look at it like, hey, check this out. We need to go to church because this is what Jesus said for our salvation. And my question is, what really is the definition of salvation?
Right. Right.
Wow, that's yeah. I think I'm gonna give that one to you, Mars.
The definition of salvation. Ooh. Hmm. I'm going to come back with you on that one.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank right now.
Yeah.
There was a conversation I think you and I did have, Leisha, at one point
Mhm.
about salvation and the definition for it.
So I'm gonna
And
give
we
you the
would have kind of,
Oxford Dictionary definition for salvation. It is a preservation or deliverance from harm, ruin, or loss. Is the definition. It's a deliverance from sin and its consequences, believed by Christians to be brought about by faith in Christ.
wow.
Okay.
Okay.
So so
Okay.
so self forgiveness, forgiving
But
is
it
Yeah.
just
says
salvation.
preservation or deliverance from
From
harm,
sin.
ruin, or loss.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
That's the very
Right.
first explanation.
Right. See, my thing, as we're all talking here, there's a few things that cross my mind. One of them being in the Bible it says, "Well, where two or more are gathered in my name,
Hmm.
there I am also." So that
Okay.
takes
Yeah,
away
you
the
don't
church
need
theory.
church for that. Right. You don't need church for that. And it
Right.
also says that salvation is free.
Right. Salvation is free. And I understand the energy that you're talking about, Leisha, because when you come together as one, you become one. And
Hmm.
that comes with the energy within itself. I mean, you
Hmm.
go to a Michael Jackson concert back in the day.
That's true.
Right now, yeah, you go to what do you call it? A dance. There's an energy there. There's a vibe that comes across, and it's so inviting. You can't help but get up and move. Especially for us melanated folk. Had to put that in there. You can't help it because you're coming together as one, and you become one. So you're not
That's
alone anymore. You
right.
know,
But,
there
but I'm
there's a
saying so
you-
so again, I'm going to say this. We definitely, I don't think there's no one on the face of the United States who haven't had some type of foundation in some type of church, whether it's Catholicism, Christian, Buddhism, all of it.
voodoo.
I feel like we need that spiritual base because we know that we come from somewhere, we just don't know what. And that is the start of the question, who am I? Because we know who God is, we know who Jesus is, because that's what they tell, what I'm saying, that's what we read. But now it comes to be, well, who am I? What
Hmm.
role do I play in
Right.
this existence?
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
And then
Yeah.
I feel like that is where the salvation comes into play. Once I know who I am and where I rely in this existence, I'm saved.
Mm-hmm. And being
Because the truth
saved
comes
is
out after that.
right. Saved literally means you're liberated.
Hmm.
You're freed up.
Hmm.
You don't have to suffer that any longer. And
Hmm.
it's really a decision. It's just a decision, not to
Yeah.
be in the box or to be in the box.
Yeah. And I feel like to a certain extent, it's like, um, again, nothing against religion or anything like that. But being in that, I felt constricted, tight. You always worried about, am I doing this right? I gotta be right. I gotta be ready for when Jesus comes. Oh my goodness, I gotta do this. That's pressure. Like that's fear. Like that weighs on
Right.
people. It's like really strong anxiety. Like but to
It's a
know that,
business.
yeah, but to know that I am where the spirit is, it is within me. God exists throughout every decision that I make, every choice. It's just freeing. Like it's freeing.
Right.
That's the
And you're
deliverance.
right.
That's the salvation. To have the Christ-like heart. That's the salvation.
Right. And I agree with that 100. That is the salvation. That's the freedom.
Right.
We don't have to be a hostage to ourselves, nor
Right.
do we have to be a hostage to anything or anybody. Now, where
Exactly.
jobs are concerned, and I'm looking at the parallels you just explained, Leisha. Uh, like on my job right now, if I call in and I don't have any personal days, guess what? I get a point. So after so many points, then they have leeway to suspend me if they choose to, fire me if I get enough of those points. And that's the same fear
Mm-hmm.
that I was taught in my
Mm-hmm.
church days. It's the same identical fear.
It is.
Nothing's changed.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I say it's a business.
It is.
That's it.
And the same fear back on the plantation. If you don't pick enough cotton, you're gonna get a whooping.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference? Somebody please explain that.
That's true.
Sure.
That is true.
Man.
Good digestion of a conversation. Anything else? Anything else, Lil?
Oh man. Not for right now. I definitely want to get back on the topics that we talked about earlier. Get back with you guys on that one. Tesla and everything like that. And touch on that. But we do have to.
We're gonna have you back again, Mr. Vernon. We need to talk to you. I know. We need to talk about history. That's a topic that I really do want to discuss. The next time
I would love that. I would love that.
To involve in history, and guys, you will be full. Believe you me.
Yeah,
I would love to. I would love to partake. But next time, you guys, try waiting until I get off of work. It was a real pleasure, though.
It was hump day. It was hump day, so we decided to come on.
This Papa Ogu's day right here.
Hey, it's hump day. That's right.
Papa Ogu. That's a little voodoo for you if you didn't know.
There you go.
Okay, we're history. We're getting to that history. So we're going to close out. We want to thank you for joining us.
Definitely.
And we will be talking to you again soon.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Bye-bye.
It's always a pleasure.
Thank you. All righty. And Lil, do you want to close us out?
Yeah, that's a good talk we had today. Love it. Our good friend, Mr. Vernon, and everything. We're gonna bring on some more guests, talk about different topics and stuff. If you're interested. Once again, we want to send condolences out to the families and the who lost the great tragedy we had over the week here, and blessings to all those out there, all the positive energy and good vibrations out there, all our listeners as well. So and everybody have a good night. Tomorrow's a new day.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and join us. We coming with more and more things. Thank you again. You guys have a wonderful night. Be blessed.
Yep. All right. Peace out. I'll see you later.